You know, one of the fun things about sports is when you see former players who maybe hold a special place in your heart, they come back on around. And sometimes they come back around on your team. I'm happy to see Carlos Carrasco back with the Guardians. Spring training. I saw a win yesterday for the Guards. Browns players come and go. And certainly for the Cavs, and especially for the Cavs when it comes to the 2016 championship. There are guys that you just see, and sometimes they bring a smile to your face. I saw J.R. Smith at the match last night with Rory and crew. And tonight, we welcome back Kyrie Irving. And it's been a long time, really a long time, since Kyrie has played for the Cleveland Cavaliers. And I feel like he's one of those guys. It's not quite the slam dunk about how people in this town feel about Kyrie Irving. If you stripped away a few things and you said, this guy was a top pick, he was one of the biggest reasons that LeBron came back and ended up leading to a championship. When you say all the accolades, but you know how he left, you'd say, well, this guy, without a doubt, puts his jersey up in the rafters, gets his welcome back video tonight. But I don't know if it's quite that with Kyrie Irving. He's back in town tonight. We might put a little juju on Kyrie for our Typico boost coming up for the Cavs tonight. We've got some Browns things from Mary Kay Cabot related to one Joe Flacco and Zadarius Smith. We got the Immaculate Grid. I'm feeling really good. Feeling good about the Immaculate Grid today. We got our morning update. We got time up. We got our bracket of the week with some debates that we got to get figured out on fast food restaurants. The bracket is set. We're set. 2 for Tuesday here on Big Play. Let's get it started. Welcome to the show, everybody. I am Matt Fontana. He is Ryan Tyler. Good morning. A very unseasonably warm morning. March is almost upon us. We can get up at above 50 a little bit here. Get to 60. We'll get rolling with that. We are jammed today. We got so much stuff. I can't wait to talk Browns. Got some nuggets from Mary Kay. Combine rolling on. I got to take on Nick Chubb. And it's not, and we know the take that I want him here. But I think a lot of things that happened yesterday, watching that group of running backs that didn't get tagged, they're going to be out there in free agency. You know me, I tie this back to the Browns. I think some moves that happened yesterday helped the Browns when it comes to Nick Chubb. We'll get to all of that coming up on a very important Pokemon. Happy Pokemon Day to everyone out there if you celebrate. We'll get to that in Time Hop coming up as well. Cavs back in action tonight, and Kyrie's back in town. And Kyrie, there's a point where when you look at Kyrie, if I'd ever told you, Ryan, that some people would look negatively on Kyrie, you would have called me crazy, right? When you talk about just going back to the draft pick with one of the biggest reasons he came back with LeBron, with the idea that he and LeBron would be here forever and LeBron would turn the team over to him, to requesting the trade and wanting to get out of Cleveland and watching. I watch basketball. So it's hard to not follow Kyrie's career and see all the moves that he's been in and, coming back tonight with Dallas. And I've said this for a long time. I think the Cavs got out of the Kyrie business at the right time. You got, I think, the best version of Kyrie Irving you had here in Cleveland, which, again, seems so long ago. But he comes back tonight, and, the welcome video, I think he gets one. And it's a 2 for Tuesday, so you always do 2 questions, 2 answers. And this one is one that we've discussed a lot, and eventually we're going to have to get an answer to. Do you want Kyrie's jersey retired by the Cavs? And the debate kind of comes back to, you start bringing in Kevin Love. You start discussing, those are the guys. We know LeBron's going up. LeBron's getting a statue. There's no question on any of that. I don't know if he needs 3 like Kobe, but he's going to get a statue. And then it comes to the next 2 most important people, on the team anyway, of Kyrie and Kevin Love. And I've long stood, and I guess Tristan Thompson now too, because that's another big debate with people. And I've long stood and said, I think Kyrie joins Kevin Love and Tristan Thompson as guys that'll go on the Wall of Fame. They'll look up at that rafter and they'll see that championship banner. They get that. I'm not ready to say that they get their jersey up there in the rafters. I truly only believe There's one guy that gets that, and that's LeBron. And I'm not going to run through all the other jersey retirements that they've had and whether or not you actually believe that they deserve to do it or whatever. There's an element of the jersey about your team, like the standing with the team. Zydrunas Ilgauskas got his jersey retired because he spent the good chunk of his career here. Didn't leave the way that Kyrie did. Austin Carr is Mr. Cavalier. He gets his jersey retired. And for LeBron, who most likely, well, I don't know, man, he's getting close with the Lakers. Oh, no, I guess you're right, 9-4. Okay, so LeBron will end his career playing the majority of his time with the Cleveland Cavaliers. LeBron goes down as one of the greatest players of all time. You retire that, you don't even think about it. Then you get Kyrie, who's bounced around, probably, I don't want to say probably, but at this point seems to have had the most amount of success in his career with the Cavs. There's, I guess, an outside chance that he does play the majority of his career in Cleveland. You'd lay that up and say, okay, well, what are you talking about? Of course, get that jersey up there. But I can't put aside how it ended with Kyrie here with the Cavs. I just can't do that. I got to put it to the side. That's an important thing. I can't put it to the side when it comes to Kyrie. And when he comes back through, like for tonight, and we're going to joke, we're going to do our typical boost. And I'll tell you, one of the legs that we have is a bit of an anti-Kyrie leg. We got under on points for Kyrie tonight. We got the boost already?
Matt, come on.
I don't want to put anything on you.
Do you want to do it now?
Yeah, hell yeah, let's do it. Yeah, let's go. Come on, Cavs! Well, they boost us too. Well, tell everybody what the boost is for tonight, Ryan.
Alrighty, we got over 24.5 Darius Garland points and assists.
We're going to talk Darius in a minute. I feel like tonight, after what Donovan said to Chris Fedor about some of the negativity, it might be that big night here for Darius Garland.
Over 25.5. Kyrie Irving. Oh my gosh, did I do over?
Did you?
Oh, Matt, I did over.
That's okay.
Maybe we'll get lucky.
Maybe. I don't know. Maybe that'll work. All right, we're doing over.
And
we were going to do under anti-Kyrie, but I feel like I'm going to do a lot
Maybe
of...
that was like a bad karmic...
You know what? If we cash it tonight, nobody going to talk about that. Nobody's going to care. All right, we're riding over on Kyrie. Did they misread it?
I don't know. I'm about to go check.
Check that.
And then over an alternate total point, 227.
Yeah, I like the over tonight. I don't know about 232. That's kind of a high one on typical. We'll get some more game trends for tonight. That's all right.
I sent under.
All right.
That's on typical.
All right. Well, if Typico's calling it there, then so be it. Maybe that's the good juju we need here for tonight.
I'll be sick, though, Matt.
It's all right. That's all right. What do we get boosted to up there?
They boosted it to a plus 420.
All right. That's pretty solid with our friends at Typico. Using that code Fontana100 when you sign up. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. Get $100 in bonus bets with code Fontana100. We'll tell everybody about our contest coming up with Typico a little bit later in the show. So, all right, Kyrie, let's go, buddy. Come on now. You and I debated this about Kyrie for tonight. Does he want to show back up and show out a little bit? Do you think that matters? Like when a guy comes back to the team that, again, we can't forget that Kyrie wanted to leave. And he did leave. But there's still got to be a little bit of a twist of the knife or just trying to show. So maybe that's good. Maybe that's good for Kyrie tonight to show up a little bit. We'll take points. If we want the over, then we really want them to score. Want everybody to score. I want the Cavs to get a win tonight. We'll talk about that in a second. But maybe that'll work out for Kyrie. Maybe that'll work out for him.
Yeah, I got to imagine. I don't know. I feel like Luke is going to end up putting up the bulk of the points here. But, I mean, if I'm Kyrie Irving, he doesn't give me the vibe. Like, he doesn't, like, I mean, I know he has his ties to Cleveland and everything, but I don't really necessarily think.
I think
he'd rather show up against the Celtics.
But, like, I would love the same thing, right? Him in Brooklyn and Boston. And this, I know this. We know this. He hates Boston way more than he hates the Cavs. And I'd love to have that conversation with him. And this brings up that whole conversation about how the Cavs are covered in this town and not a lot of beat reporters and all that. But if Chris or anybody, Evan Damerol, Chris, anybody could sit down with Kyrie and do just like a 10-minute conversation, I'm kind of interested to see how he does feel about the Cavs. And there's nothing left for me to want. I sit here pretty content. I'm happy with where the Cavs are at right now. I want to win tonight. We'll talk about that. But like with Kyrie, it's kind of like, all right, man, decisions were made. You know, you went off and did your thing. Cavs are in a better spot. I'll tell you this, I don't have venom for Kyrie Irving. I really don't. Like, whatever. But there's some sanctity for me for putting jerseys up in the rafters. And people always complain about Tristan. People always bring up Tristan Thompson. That's one that I will debate till I'm blue in the face. I'm looking this up. Because I should have done it before the show. I was about to do it, but I got sidetracked doing Pokemon stuff. Here is where Kyrie Irving ranks in some important metrics in Cavs history. Okay? I don't know why Basketball Reference just doesn't give me points. I just want points. I don't know why. But anyway, in games played, he is not top 10. Okay? He's not top 10. In field goals, he is 8th, which again would pretty much equate 2 points. In 3-point field goals, he ranks 4th in Cavs history. In assists, he ranks 6th in Cavs history. So if you wanted to look at it from this point, this guy is a top 10 scorer in Cavs history and a top 10 assist guy. You would believe that guy is one of the best, right? He is one of the best Cavs of all time. Man, look at Terrell Brandon at 4. All-time assists in Cavs history. LeBron is 1. Mark Price is 2. John Bagley, 3. Terrell Brandon is 4. There is one active Cavalier in the top 10. Your guess? Assists.
That's playing for the Cavaliers right now.
Right.
Is top what?
Top 10 Cavs all-time assists.
Oh, Darius.
Darius is correct. He's 9. He just passed Austin Carr a little bit earlier this year. So there you go. So if I laid it out that way, you would say, oh, man, no question. But you know how it ended. You know where it kind of went there. I'm saying no, I don't think so. To cast our vote in our first 2 for Tuesday this morning, Ryan, I ain't doing it. I'm not doing it. Sorry, Kyrie, you don't get that.
No, it's reserved for a special core of players that when you look at that player, right, in Kyrie Irving, you immediately think Cavs. And while the majority of people probably do think that, Matt, but go look at who's up there in the rafters, right? Bingo Smith, automatically think Cavs. Zydrunas Ilgauskas, Cavs, 100%. Larry Nance, Mark Price, Nate Thurmond, maybe Brad Daugherty, and Austin Carr, right? Those are all Cavs. You think of Cavs immediately. I don't know if people do that the same for Kyrie. Of course, most people
maybe
do.
Not.
And we do here, but nationally, I don't think they do. I would think maybe the Celtics. I mean, he's been around Brooklyn now, and obviously now he's in Dallas. I mean, I think that's reserved for a special group of players that when you look at them, that screams Cavalier. And yes, what Kyrie Irving did was amazing, no doubt. He helped end our drought, right, in the city for how long it was, 60-plus years. But I don't think he belongs up there, to be honest. I don't think, certainly not Tristan Thompson does. And if anything, I think Kevin Love deserves it more than Kyrie Irving.
Well, Kevin stuck it out, was the last one standing. There's something to be said about that. Kyrie was a better player.
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
That's the thing.
100%.
Like, Kyrie, the player. And I still think I see glimpses of it. I know he battled injuries sometimes, and Boston, Brooklyn, all that. But you still see Kyrie Irving. And I maintain to this day, I think he's the best ball handler I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, 100%. But, Matt, let me ask you this. Okay, go to the Miami Heat. Do you think Udonis Haslem gets his jersey in the rafters?
Yes.
Right, 100%. Right, it's not all about how good the player was.
He is their Austin Carr.
That's what I'm saying.
Mr. Miami
The Raptors are reserved for players that totally represent that franchise, and that's totally Udonis Haslem. He played how many years there? 18 years there in Miami?
Yeah.
And that's why he's going to get his jersey retired.
With
That's a special place
yeah.
reserved that doesn't necessarily translate to how skillful a player was.
I agree. Talking about the Mavericks tonight, because tonight is a game that the 3 games outside of the break, okay, fine. I need to see something out of the Cavs tonight. I'm not saying I'm getting worried about where the Cavs are at. It's a small sample size. Donovan didn't play in a couple of those games. That's fine. These are some of the games, though, that I'm going to circle because you do have some bad games, right? You have some lowly teams out there. And then I look at the Dallas Mavericks, and you really understand that it is Luka and Kyrie, and that is it. They only have 4 guys averaging double digits. One of those guys isn't even on the team anymore. He's played 5. So again, of actual players, there's 3. Luka, Kyrie, and Tim Hardaway Jr. That's it. How are the Mavericks that good? And then you look at Luka leading the NBA in scoring, 34 points per game. Ryan, he's 50th in field goal percentage. He just jacks up a lot of shots.
He has to.
Because that's it. That's all they have is those two. And I'm not saying that I'm a priming here for a Cavs-Mavs finals. It'd be fun. But you look at a game like this tonight, where I respect who the Mavericks are, the Cavs are the better team. 4.5 is the spread. You want some trends for tonight?
I do.
Get to our friends at Tipico. So this opened at 2.5. It's up to 4.5. Over-under is 232.5. I start here with Dallas. 6-2 against the spread their last 8. 7-1 straight up in their last 8. And they play the Cavs well for a cover standpoint. Dallas is 6-3 against the spread their last 9 games against the Cavs, but they're only 1-4 straight up in their last 5 games against the Cavs. Now, here's another one. Dallas has won their last 5 games over there at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. So take that for what it's worth. Under has hit 8 out of the Mavs' last 10 games and under 4 out of their last 5 games on the road. So the under is kind of the trend. I think that's why we did a little alternate for tonight to try to hit the over. Cavs have not covered in their last 5 games. Under has hit 6 out of their last 8, but the Cavs still 16-4 straight up in their last 20, and they are an impressive 10-2 straight up in their last 12 games at home. I mentioned they don't cover all that well against Dallas, and another play, I guess, for the under. The under has hit 8 out of the last 11 games when the Cavs have been favored. But again, we took the alternate, we bumped it down a little bit for our Tipico boost. Get signed up there, and we'll see how it goes for tonight. I expected kind of a big game out of Darius Garland. I really do. And maybe this is just me, but him and Kyrie, you know, the point guards, maybe I'm putting too much on this for tonight. But I do look at this game. I really want the Cavs to make a statement tonight. And it's a regular season game on a Tuesday night. Is there a statement to be made? I guess I just where a lot of people I think are at with the Cavs. They want to be proven without a shadow of a doubt that this is the team who we think they are. And you had that streak, but people so quickly want to look for the opposite. They want to look for, see, we're not as good as we thought. Darius Garland's not as good as we thought he was. Evan Mobley's not coming out. They look for that. I don't know why they search for it, but they do. So like a game like tonight, where I want the Cavs to throttle the Mavericks. And maybe get a little bit of that national respect. This game is not on national TV tonight, but still, I'm going to look at this game and try to look to the Cavs and go, all right, if they wipe the floor with the Mavs tonight, you're getting talked about tomorrow. And it might be under the guise of Dallas and wondering who they are and all that. Am I putting too much on Dallas? Am I overhyping a little bit of the Dallas Mavericks here?
I mean, no, because you go look at it, you have Kyrie Irving, obviously you have the connection there. He's coming back to Cleveland. I don't know the last time he was here, Matt, but
Mavs are only the 8th seed in the West, man.
But they still have 30-plus wins. Or I think they're like
33 and 24.
Yeah. But, I mean,
they'd be the 5 seed in the East.
I fully expect the Cavaliers to win tonight. I think they are the better team. They're at home. They're kind of looking to get off the schneid a little bit. I mean, I know they just won to beat the Wizards, but that's the Wizards. But
those 2 losses, you weren't feeling real good about that.
Here's the thing, Matt, about people that are panicking. I hate to break it to the Cavs fans that are kind of worried. What do the Cavs have left? How many games, Matt? Like 20 plus, some 25?
Yeah.
I hate to break it to them, but Cavs are probably going to lose 3, 4, 5, 6, dare I say 7 more games in the season. That's okay. You go look at your preseason expectation. We talked about this ad nauseum. We wanted to be in the top 4. We're still sitting at the number 2 seed. What else do we want? Yes, we're coming post All-Star break. Donovan was out, of course. We lost 2 games to decent opponents without our best player. Boo-hoo. It's going to happen. The Cavaliers are fine. Darius Garland's going to be fine. Like, people are panicking. Like, because people look directly at the numbers. Yes, Darius got back from the injury, and he's bottom ranked in a lot of stats right now since he came back from that face injury. But like, what do you like?
That's I kind
of panicking. Like,
I don't understand
as if he's not
why.
allowed to have a bad stretch of basketball.
Like that's maybe because it's not as built up as some other players on this team. Maybe there was too much hype around the future of this. I really, and I know Donovan, as I said yesterday, I think Donovan is a little searching for that, and I respect him wanting to go to bat for his teammate, for his friend. I don't understand the people that are down on Darius Garland. And it comes back to, I think, the other problem with some of these fans of wanting to see it, you're already starting to think about what this team is going to look like next year, or what are they going to do with Donovan, or how are they going to make this work and all that. I don't get it. And that's another reason why I want Darius to go out tonight and light it up and maybe quiet some people. It's not going to happen, though. I know that no matter what he does, sometimes there are people that just, they got this thing about a player, they're all in on him, or they're all out on him. We know that with the Browns. We'll get some Browns coming up about 10 minutes. It's all those things. So tonight, I'm asking for a Cavs win. I think we're going to get it. Our Tipico boost is up. Use that code Fontana100 when you get signed up. It is a 2 for Tuesday, so you always do 2 questions, 2 answers. Ryan and I are on the same page on the first one. We don't want Kyrie's jersey retired. Our second one, how did we get onto this last week? I don't remember. We were talking about something when it came to gambling and going to the casino.
I just remember you told me a story about the dude who had no idea what he's doing.
Oh, yeah.
And he just threw away
yes, we're at Vegas. I don't remember what it was. Blackjack or roulette. There will be people that want to say craps. It's a 2 for Tuesday. Do you want to make it a 3 for Tuesday?
No, craps. No.
Okay. You don't like craps? Do you know how to play craps?
I don't.
I know a very base level idea of what's supposed to roll, pass line and not, but I've never stood at a craps table. So fine, roulette or blackjack. And think of it this way as we normally do. You get one and the other one goes away forever. You walk into a casino, you can only ever play blackjack or roulette ever again when you go in. So here's my thing. I would say I am a novice to maybe above average knowledge game. I go to the casino maybe once a year. I know what I'm doing with blackjack. Is it degenerate that I started following an Instagram blackjack account so I can get better at playing blackjack? Is that degenerate?
As long as you don't play it online.
No, we can't do it in the state of Ohio yet.
Then, yeah.
Okay,
no,
but
nothing's degenerate.
Okay, I have an app that's just free. Like, it's just an app for me to get better at blackjack.
There's nothing wrong with making you better at a skill.
That's what I'm saying. You got to know when to hit, when to stay, and all that kind of stuff. So blackjack, I have more fun playing blackjack. But I've won more money in my life playing roulette. Blackjack, you get the wrong deck, you get the wrong shuffle on that, and you're in a lot of trouble. The other awkward thing that I have found about blackjack is the table etiquette, where if you don't take a card or do, it screws everybody else up. So if you're saying, well, I'll just sit all the way to the left, right? Because they deal, if you're sitting there facing the dealer, they deal right to left. But even if you're sitting at the end, it's what cards you throw to the dealer that can sometimes screw up everybody else's. And then you're in a lot. So there's more pressure with blackjack. Ever told you the story when they almost threw me out of the casino because they thought I was counting cards?
Oh, you're that good.
No, I'm not. I'm an idiot is what happened. So this was... me, Riz, and Gerard went to spring training to cover the Indians. This literally probably 10 years ago. And we go, and we're having it was an awesome trip. And one night, they're like, all right, let's go hit up the casino. So we get in the rental car, we drive there. And at that point, I think I was, 25, something like that, 24. Some idiot kid. And it was like a random Wednesday night, too. So Riz and Gerard, they just leave me. They know where they're going. They know what they're going to go play. So I sit down at a $5 blackjack table. And I'm just putzing around. I think I put $30 down, and I'm just playing hands, right? So the cards come on. There's 2 other guys at the table with me. And not to cast judgment, Ryan, but they looked like guys that would be at a casino on a Wednesday night, and this is kind of what they do. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. So they seem like they know what they're doing. So I get, what was it? I think I had a 6 and an 8. It added up to 14. It was something like that.
Yeah, you got to hit that.
No, I doubled down on it. So double down, you're only supposed to do when you have 10 or less or 11 because you can't bust. And I'm just playing $5 a hand, right? I doubled down at 14, which again, anybody that plays blackjack knows that is a stupid, stupid idea. And it's 7 hits for blackjack.
Nice.
And the pit boss comes over and he starts staring at me. The dealer calls it out. The dealer, and anybody out there that deals, you got to do this. When you have an abnormal play, you call that out. And as soon as I said double, the dealer turns and goes, I got a double on a 14 over here. When I hit a 7, they walked right over to me. And I'm staring at him, and I try to go,
Okay, Rain Man.
I don't know what I'm doing. I was like, I'm not counting cards. But I look back on it now, and I go, okay, I understand why they thought I was counting cards. And I remember saying this, which is probably a bad thing to say to the dealer. I go, if I was really counting cards, you really think I'd be at a $5 table? Again, not realizing that's one of the worst things that you could say if you actually were. The other thing, I was worried about these guys getting angry at me for screwing up the table, and they went nuts. They went crazy. They were so happy for me. Thank God. Yeah. They politely asked me to pick my chips up and go somewhere else.
That's bullshit, in my opinion.
So then they started following me to see where I was going to go. It must have been a slow day at the casino in Arizona. And I remember running and finding Risen Dry. I was like, we got to go. I go, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here. I think I walked out with like $50. I think I won $20 while I was there. But they threw me out. Not like carried me out, but they were just like politely, you can go take your chips somewhere else, please. So I have more fun playing blackjack. Roulette is much easier, right? Put some chips here, throw this here. And that is a lot of fun when you get 5 or 6 of your group around a table. Yeah. And the same thing can be said when you're playing blackjack. Now, blackjack gets weird because you can't have the card on the table. You know the cheat sheet cards? You ever see one of those?
No.
So you can get printed cards that tells you what the book tells you to do. So you can look on this card and say, hey, the dealer's showing 15. I've got this. What do I do? And it'll tell you hit, stand, double down, all that. You can't, some places you cannot have that on the table, or they'll tell you to put it away. Then there's other places that you can't talk to other people. There are some places, depending on the time, like if you go there and it's early morning or it's not rush hour type of things, the dealer will help you out too. Where you're like, you'll look at them and go, what would you do here? And sometimes they'll give you a wink or a nod or tell you I wouldn't do that or do this, or the book tells you to do that. They're not really supposed to do that. So there's a little more to learn from blackjack. But if I had to pick one, as I just said, I'm degenerate dad in little ways. I now follow a blackjack account to get better at playing the game. I play on my phone for free just to learn. I guess I'm going to have to go blackjack. I would probably say if I could only pick one to play forever, I'm going to go blackjack, right?
I would pick, I don't know. Like,
how often do you gamble? Are you
I don't gamble.
Never?
Not like casino
How many
gambling.
times have you ever gone to a all right, sports gambling is right. That's one thing. How often
probably once, maybe every other month. If that.
Really?
Yeah, I don't go very often.
Oh, that's more than me.
Oh. Well, I only go I would never go alone.
No, you got to go with the group.
But that's the whole thing. I would pick roulette because there's obviously there's more strategy to blackjack, but I would pick roulette because I would just go with the group of my friends. We would ride together, and we're either walking out of there celebrating or we're just going home and
Well, you see the videos of guys that we're starting the bachelor party and we put $4,000 on red to see how the bachelor party's going to kick out. Sure, I get that. Yeah, I get that. If you're just going with your buddies, which I'm assuming you do because it's what you guys maybe do every so often. You don't want to walk out of there in a big hole.
No.
You put down a couple bucks and that's what you play and you go on out. That's what I'm saying. Again, there's a strategy to roulette, but I can't say I've ever walked away from a roulette table down bad. No. I've walked away from a blackjack table down
That's
bad.
The problem. I could go to play blackjack and I'm out of there in 30 minutes.
Right.
But roulette, I could sit there,
you can
sit
there,
bids and just
what I a lot of times will do, I'll start with blackjack. When I get my ass kicked, I'll go over to roulette, get my bankroll back up, and then go back to the blackjack table and finish it out.
The problem with me is I have a problem with chasing my losses. Which
that's
is the
never
number one.
That.
That's the cardinal sin of
never
gambling.
Do that.
But
no.
That's why I have to be really conservative. Because if I go in there, especially if I go in there with a mean buzz, I'm chasing my loss. I'll be honest, I'm chasing my losses. 100%.
If you ever, everybody knows that about casinos. No windows, the flashy lights, the beverages, all that stuff. They just want to suck you in. The one thing, I don't think you will ever in my life see me sit down at a slot table. Or a slot machine. Ever. No. And I know there's people that play video poker and video blackjack and that kind of stuff. But you're telling me you got an algorithm cooked up in that thing? Oh, it's only a penny a pull. My ass. I don't trust. No. And I'm sure the gaming commission is all on the up and up. There's somebody that I know that swears there's a magnet underneath the roulette table and that there's a pedal that the dealer will step on. I go, there's no way. There's no way that can be true.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Come on. What do we do? So that's our second 2 for Tuesday up. Blackjack or roulette. Vote on that. I would think it's going to go blackjack.
It's already heavy blackjack.
Heavy blackjack.
Kyrie's the Kyrie one's closer than I thought.
Is it? Where's that at?
57-42.
Which one's leading?
No.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair. I mean, I think, again,
68 Truth on Twitter. Irving is a head case whose juvenile jealousy of LeBron destroyed the Cavs' chances of winning multiple titles. His jersey belongs in the dumpster with Art Modell's hat. That's crazy.
okay, Kevin Durant ruined the Cavs winning more championships more than Kyrie Irving did, okay? You want to blame somebody for not winning more championships? That would be Kevin Durant. Kyrie,
I mean, if he didn't break his knee, we probably have 2.
well, that, and then Kevin Love getting his shoulder torn out by Kelly Olynyk. Jackass. Here's the thing on Kyrie. And I can picture this in 15 years. When he's done and he sits down and he talks about, I would imagine that eventually he would say, you know what? I didn't play that the way I should have. And that's life. That's life. I'm not asking for vindication on that. I'm not asking for him to apologize. It played out, I don't want to say as best as it could, but you still won the championship. You still did it. You beat the best team in history. We got that, and you never take that away from us. It's if you believe they could have done more. And I continue to say, I don't think it would have mattered what the Cavs did. It's the fact that the Warriors got Kevin Durant. And even if, well, you know, the Raptors beat him.
Still hold that against LeBron.
But, like, dude, they got hurt. The Warriors were all hurt in that series against the Raptors. You had the full front force, the brunt force of that Warriors team. With, at that time, what, 4 of the top 20 players in the NBA?
Yeah.
What were you going to do? And the dream that we had of LeBron walking off into the sunset and turning the team over to Kyrie, I know that's what LeBron wanted to do. And whether or not Kyrie got in the way of that or how he felt about it, I don't know. And I do think an element is that the Cavs came out the other side. If we were sitting there where the Pistons are at, I think we'd be feeling a little bit different. The fact that LeBron stuck around, this rebuild went a little bit, and I would say better because you didn't get a Kyrie. Well, I guess Stovan's pretty close.
He's better than Kyrie.
Ooh, what about that?
Yeah, 100%.
In a Cavs uniform?
100%.
I guess I don't have much ground to stand on. The guy puts up there's some.
What did Kyrie do that Donovan hasn't?
I gotta tell you, man, there's some mystique about Kyrie
this year. Especially this
I know,
year.
that's what I'm saying. I know. There's some mystique that I have about Kyrie. Seriously, there's
it's because he has the highlights. He has the crazy
because
legs.
he had
the crazy game winners.
and there was a time that we were down
Spurs
bad,
game
and then
dropped
LeBron
50.
comes back and they did it in the finals, and he did all these things in that game that they both, what was it? They both had 40, right?
Yeah.
That had never happened in an NBA game ever. Of a finals game, you had 2 guys go off for 40. I fully admit that there is some mystique that I have around Kyrie. And some people want to take that and then apply it to what could have been or what exactly it was. Kyrie still ranks very high for me.
Yeah,
he does.
He has to.
Now, again, to a level of getting his jersey retired, not quite that level. But there is a mystique around Kyrie. Certainly mystique around Joe Flacco with what he did for the Browns last season. Mary Kay Cabot. She's been all over this, folks. The door's open. The door is open for a potential return with Joe Flacco and Zadarius Smith. It's coming straight from Mary Kay. But they're going to let him test free agency. And I got to take on that when we return. Yesterday, bit of a crazy day with that franchise tag. Not just with T. Higgins, but watching what happened with the running backs. What that fallout will be for one Nick Chubb. We're saying, how do I tie that back? I'll do that when we return. We got our bracket. We're still submitting. You can still, what do we got? 3 open spots?
3.
Left 3 spots open for you. Your favorite fast food restaurant. We have to get in a debate later of what exactly is fast food. Somebody tweeted me and they said it should only be if you have a drive-thru. There's like fast casual. So we got our bracket. If anybody has a last-minute request, Chick-fil-A is in, Chipotle is in, Wendy's, Burger King, McDonald's. I'm trying to think if there's a big, McDonald's level. Taco Bell is in. So we got a lot of those. If you have one last one to throw in there, tweet it at Matt Fontana Show. Drop us a follow there. Ryan's at Ryan Tyler 33. I am at Matt Fontana 83. Follow us all there. We'll get to our bracket coming up. We got time up. We got the morning update. I'm feeling good on the Immaculate Grid.
I am too.
I haven't looked at it yet.
I only
You
saw,
have to look at it because you got to upload
but
it for the show.
I quickly exit.
Fair enough. So we'll get to all that coming up. Locked and loaded right here on Big Play. We are always presented by our great friends at Tipico, folks. You see them right there. I can't tell you yet, but we are super close to revealing our contest that we're going to have running here at Big Play. You are going to be the benefactors. We have a contest going. It's going to be show v show, and you, the fans, the viewers, the listeners, are going to be able to cash in some prizes with our friends at Tipico coming up very soon. This is perfect for the tournament, which is right around the corner. And I got the email yesterday about Tipico. The new cashback rewards are out. So they've got everything. They really do. The cashback rewards, where you're able to get cash for the bets that you place. Then the flex parlays, which we're going to get hot and heavy going with basketball coming up. They've got the sports. They've got the same game parlays, and then the boosts that we love here. We do our show boosts here. Tipico's where it's at, folks. If you have not signed up yet, you're getting ready to go for the tournament, and you don't have any money in any of those other accounts, you haven't signed up yet for Tipico, $100 in bonus bets. Deposit and bet $25 on whatever you want. With code Fontana100, get $100 in bonus bets. Get that bankroll before the big tournament coming up with our friends at Tipico. Terms and conditions apply. If you have a gambling problem, please call 1-800-GAMBLER with our friends at Tipico. A lot of football to get into. Flacco, Zadarius Smith. I would say is, if you open that door, there's no closing it. That comes your way next. Stay with us. All right, Combine Week upon us as we'll get gearing up for that. And as I mentioned, Ryan, it's going to start sprinkling out a little bit. People are meeting. People are talking. Things are going to start happening.
We got to shut some stuff down, Matt.
Go ahead. What are you going to shut down?
This whole Flacco debacle.
So it starts with Mary Kay. And it's obviously Mary Kay doesn't have to do with her. She's involved. She's in this as much as anybody is. And her reporting is great. So I'm just going to say, and then Ryan's going to shut down whatever he wants to shut down. So this comes from Mary Kay last night on Cleveland.com. Flacco plans to test free agency waters when the negotiation period opens on March 11th. A league official or league source told Cleveland.com. But Mary Kay also says the Browns and Flacco have expressed mutual interest in having him return to Cleveland. But Flacco's first choice would be to sign with a team that either views him as a starter or gives him a chance to compete. We all know what Flacco has done, did it here, and probably feels like he wants to be able to go out there and play again. I don't think money's a motivating factor here. He wants to play. I don't see it. I've said that, and I think now more than ever, Andrew Berry has done this with several players. Go out there and get your value. And come on back to us, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, you move on. They kind of did that with Jacoby Brissett. Trying to think if there's anybody else. I know there's got to be one other guy. Like Anthony Walker. Like that kind of applies. He's just been on this one-year deal over and over and over again. Go out there, get your value. You don't get it or it's something similar. Come on back. Let us know. Maybe we'll find a spot for you here. But when I hear what Mary Kay has to say, that Flacco is kind of looking for a place that he wants to play, I think that shuts it down here. Let alone all the other debate that we've had about what that means for Deshaun Watson or having him in the room or not. I think the fact that you've opened that door, you signify, number one, Joe Flacco isn't that important to you. Okay? And I'm not saying that about Joe Flacco, the guy. I'm not saying about what he did for this team this past season. But when you open that door to the pasture and they walk out, there's no guarantee they're coming back. You don't do that with guys. What do you say? Don't let him leave and you re-sign him. I think this is coming off to me as a courtesy to not only Joe Flacco, but don't forget, there's a PR element to this with Browns fans who became enamored with Joe Flacco to delicately work through this. And the Browns don't want to be seen as the bad guy, but they probably view it the same way that I do. You caught lightning in a bottle with a 38-year-old quarterback. Probably not happen, and your franchise guy's coming off his shoulder injury. He should be good to go for the season. We thank you very much, Joe, but we'll see you later. They could come out flat out right now and say, we're not re-signing Joe Flacco. He can kick rocks. People would be up in arms. They'd be pissed. You got to be delicate on that. So what are they going to do? Hey, we appreciate you. Go see what's out there. Go see what's out there. Hopefully you can find a job because, again, not planning on playing here. And if you get something, come on back. But I think that's the Browns signaling Joe Flacco can go ahead and move on. Now, the thing is, him actually finding a job, because that is going to be the toughest part of all of this. Excuse me. As we jump on the quarterback carousel and you jump on around and we're Cousins and we're Baker and we're the draft picks and Fields and all these other guys, there ain't that many jobs out there. There's not that many jobs out there for a guy like Joe Flacco. So then it might come back to the money. If his mind and body are down to play, who is to turn away $6 million to be the backup of a team with a guy that now has injury history? I see that path. But I think even for the Browns, you get cheaper with Dorian Thompson-Robinson. We've talked so much about the salary cap this week. Do you really want to invest that $6 million? Well, you really don't have to. Because, let's say, I don't want to think about it. Say Watson gets hurt again. Well, what's stopping you from just doing what you did last time with Joe Flacco? There's going to be somebody left out of a job. We finally can get Jimmy Garoppolo here, Ryan.
No thanks.
Got to deal with that suspension and bring him in on it and recreate that. My whole point. It's not that it's a shot at Joe Flacco. It's not that there's, my gut, do you want him back? We've asked that question on the show before. Do you want him back? I guess my gut would probably say yes. I just think for the Browns opening the door the way that they have, to go out there and what they're hoping for is that he does find another job and that he goes somewhere else and they can throw flowers and say, Joe, we love you. Congratulations. Enjoy your time in Washington. Enjoy your time in New England. Go follow Alex Van Pelt. New England's one that I think I've seen a lot of people circle that. Because New England, whether or not they're going to draft a quarterback, whether they sign somebody, does that not fit a lot? Right? Does that not seem like something that would be perfect for New England to work through all of that? They'd love that. Because then they don't look like the bad guy. They don't look like they threw Joe Flacco out the door. You know, he walked out. He had another opportunity. And who are we to stop him from getting that other amazing opportunity? That's the best case scenario for the Browns. I think they're leaving that door wide open for that. And that's where it's going to play out. You wanted to put it to bed.
Yeah. You give a guy 200 whatever it was million guaranteed.
230.
You sell your 3 first-round draft picks. You're essentially giving away a big chunk of your future for a guy who hadn't played football in a couple of years. It comes off as these last 3 years, probably, I don't know if you'd agree with this, Matt, probably the worst possible start you could have for this deal.
Pretty bad. Yeah.
Why on earth would they ever do anything to hinder his chance of fulfilling that contract? And I'll tell you why. Because Joe Flacco being there, and we all talk about it, right? We know the fans couldn't handle it.
I know we couldn't.
And I'm sitting here, what reason do I have to sit here today and think Deshaun Watson can handle that? I don't think you do anything to mess up his psyche, because what's the whole thing? We talked about Russ. You throw that away. That's not an excuse anymore. Okay, so everybody sits here and says his confidence is a thing. You think he's going to be confident knowing Joe Flacco sitting there over his shoulder when the city of Cleveland fell in love with Joe Flacco more than they ever have with Deshaun Watson, and he was here for 6 weeks. In no way, shape, or form are they going to do that. I can't imagine it, Matt. Andrew Berry, we know this. He does not want to be tied to that contract of what people are already saying is the worst deal in NFL history. There's no way you leave him in that locker room knowing that with Joe Flacco's success. And mind you all that, from just a standpoint of the Browns' future, Joe Flacco's never it. He's 38 years old. If anything, like you said, if God forbid Deshaun Watson goes down, you either, okay, let's see what we have in Dorian Thompson-Robinson.
Right.
Or, like you said, you can go find another guy like we did Joe Flacco. It just doesn't make sense for a multitude of reasons to keep Joe Flacco. I think the fans couldn't handle it, and I'm sure a lot of people in the locker room can, but from Deshaun Watson's past and his history, what gives me any reason to believe he's mature enough and he's has enough confidence himself?
I don't know about that.
And that's the thing. I'm not saying I don't know, Matt, but what have I given that?
My smart-ass response is, dude, you got $230 million in the bank. Deal with it.
Right,
that
but that's
would be my thing. I would just say, and again,
if he was mature, I'm just saying.
I know, and I'll
go
tell you
all
this.
the legal stuff.
I'll help you on this side of it.
Mature and smart enough.
We are in this era of football and professional sports that if a star guy with a big contract doesn't want to play for your team, guess what? He ain't going to play for your team. He's going to leave. He's going to want out. And you're right. It's off to a bad start, all that kind of stuff. I don't look at it so much from that standpoint. I kind of agree with you. You're either in with Watson or you're not, and you got to be in with them. You don't have a choice. So if you don't have to create that headache, don't. But the thing is, the Browns, the job of Andrew Berry is to do the best thing for the team. The best thing would be, we got an injury-prone guy. We need somebody that can do this job to step in. I think the Browns are signaling what we all kind of expected. It's better that Joe Flacco moves on. Because the other thing that I'm starting to dance around here, let me get to the other part of Mary Kay's article. She talked about Zadarius Smith as well. And she wrote, the Browns would love to re-sign defensive end Zadarius Smith, but he will also likely hit the market next month and let free agency determine his price. 32 coming up in September, and he was 18th on Pro Football Focus for qualified NFL edge rushers. Couple things on that. I saw this yesterday. Oh, man, it might have been Dane Brugler. It might have been Matt Miller. I can't remember, but I retweeted it. I guess I could go check it real quick. And here was their point, that as free agency is starting to stack up, they said there's a couple of positions. Actually, it was Greg Rosenthal. It was neither Dane nor Matt. And he tweeted this yesterday. Teams will tell you what they value by who reaches free agency. This class has so few corners and offensive tackles, a ton of safeties and linebackers, and a surprising amount of edge options. That is perfect for the Cleveland Browns. You have a surplus of corners and tackles, the two positions that are down in this free agency class. Could help for a draft. trade. You need a linebacker, good, and you could use an edge guy. Here's the thing that I'm going to apply to Zadarius Smith, and it now applies to Joe Flacco, is the salary cap. Because, we're going to get Jack Duffin on soon to discuss this, I believe that the Browns are going to try to take a chunk out of Watson's contract this year. When you do that, you cannot pay top dollar for people. I know the salary cap jumped. I would use every little bit of that salary cap that jumped that you didn't expect. Use that for Deshaun Watson. You want it for a wide receiver? You want to go sign an edge guy? I don't know if you can. And the same thing, Joe Flacco is going to get $6 million. That's your going rate. You got Dorian Thompson-Robinson who's going to make less than $2 million. Those dollars add up. So as much as we say the salary cap can be worked, it's a little fake. That is the other element. Now, Zadarius Smith, the same thing. What he go gets, come on back. All right. There is a scary world that there is no other edge rusher on this team. I need one bad. As much as I need a wide receiver, I think I need an edge guy. I wait to see if there's going to be a trade. I wait to see what Andrew Berry's maybe cooking up this week at the Combine to see about a potential trade for a player or not. I'm sick of naming players. People yell at me when I do it. But just leave it there.
We all know who you're talking about.
We'll leave it right there, okay? So we'll see how that all plays out. They're going to have to do a little work here. They have to pull a little magic here. So when you have those constraints too, I think that factors in. Best guess right now, call your shot. Flacco, Smith. I used to do a segment called either, neither, both. And I know I say both weird. I put an L in there. I can't help it. I don't know why I don't say it right. Forgive me. I'm sorry. Either, neither, both. They're back with the Browns. They're both back. Neither are back. Either one of those back. Smith, Flacco.
Flacco, 100% no.
Zadarius Smith?
Well, that's the thing with Zadarius, because if they have to pay him, what did they pay him? They paid him last year $11 million.
Right, coming off the Vikings.
Which I don't think he lived up to $11 million. So if he's gonna go test free agency and he's gonna get more from another team, why on earth would the Browns match that? If he didn't give you initial value of $11 million, what makes you think another year older? Maybe because another year in Jim Schwartz system, whatever. I don't know. I think you find a cheaper option that gives you the same efficiency. So if he goes test free agency and somebody's willing to give him more money, I don't want the Browns to match that. Neither.
When you let guys like that test free agency, they don't come back. They don't come back. And I know Barry is a master of the one-year veteran deals. And again,
the Browns history will tell you they won't.
Well, and the thing is, we're talking about a sliding scale of guys. They had Anthony Walker go test free agency, right? And it's no shot at Anthony Walker. I love Anthony Walker. I'd love him back on this team for another year, to be honest with you. But we're talking about different positions here. And we're talking about different types of players. Where if they go out there and get that deal, they're not coming back. There is no way that they're coming back. Speaking of guys that might not be going back to their teams, the franchise tag yesterday, I misspoke. I was talking about Tony Pollard, the franchise tag. He did not get his deal.
Yeah, no.
So he's out. Barkley's out. Josh Jacobs is out. Derrick Henry is out. Austin Eckler, all out of their current teams. Now, they'll shovel some of that stuff towards it. Well, we'd like to re-sign them and get a long-term deal. If you really wanted to sign Saquon Barkley with a long-term deal, you would have tagged him and gotten the deal done. You tagged him last year. That money goes up. It's twofold. It's the running back position, as we know. And I do think this ties back to Nick Chubb. And I need to walk through this. And I'm going to start with the statement that I've said on this show that has been clipped from the show and sent out. I love Nick Chubb, and I don't want to see him play football anywhere else. But in these negotiations, when they're going to sit down with Nick Chubb and say, we cannot pay you this $11.8 million that you're on the hook for, and we need to redo this and restructure and hopefully add years so you can stick around here. We got good news on that yesterday. You want to know why? Look at how bad the running back position is. Look how down, not bad. You know how down bad they are? You can go to Nick Chubb and go, you really want to enter that? You want to enter this where there are probably what you would view as 4 or 5 franchise backs, and they're going to get underpaid. We want you here. Let's work on a number. And what that is what I hate to say. That's costing Nick Chubb money. That's costing Nick Chubb money. And I want him to make his money. And I want him, again, my number one priority is him here, but I also want him to get his fair share. Fair share in what I thought it was. So I think that helps. I've said this about Shane Bieber, where I thought there was a world the Guardians could sign Bieber to an extension. The whole point is, you're not going to get out there what you thought you were going to get. So let's give you a modest deal and we'll keep you here. It's the same thing for Nick Chubb. And I think it helps. Again, it's unfortunate because it's going to cost him millions of dollars. But to say, you're probably not going to get anywhere else. You get to stay in Cleveland where you're beloved and be a part of this team, help us win some things. You're loved by the fan base. Here's, dude, I dare say, here's like $6 million a year, $7 million a year. Like,
well, what do you? I mean, Jonathan.
That's what backup quarterbacks are getting paid.
Go look at Jonathan Taylor. He got $12
That's
million.
what
He's
I'm
arguably
saying.
the best running back in the NFL,
that's what
he
I'm
was
saying.
young. It's tough. It's the most replaceable position in the NFL. The Chiefs just won the Super Bowl with the 7th round draft pick as running back.
And I've said I don't mind if the money ever came back to bite me in the ass. I said I would never hold that against Andrew Barrett. Dude, $6 million, $7 million, that's pretty easily swallowable. You can figure that out and get that in the books somehow, some way, okay? So yesterday, I actually think really helped the whole negotiation. And again, I believe it's starting from a good spot. They both want to get this done. So if you're starting from there, good. Find a way to get it done. But dude, when I saw that, these tags that these teams are like, yeah, we're good. You think that's a mistake? I actually do.
Which part?
Just letting these top-tier guys. I don't think Tony Pollard's top tier. I never bought that. Derrick Henry, I'm a big Saquon Barkley guy. I really am. And I think he can be dynamic for the right offense. So he, I think, might be one that is going to be the best paid. I think Austin Eckler's a little overrated. Sorry. I think Tony Pollard's overrated. I think Austin Eckler's overrated. I think Henry's on the way now. I actually think Josh Jacobs could be really good. Led the league in rushing a couple years ago. Again, these guys are out there fighting tooth and nail against one another for jobs that just aren't there for a position that nobody really wants.
Go look at all the past Super Bowl winners, Matt. Okay, the Chiefs.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Isaiah Pacheco, right? The Rams. Who did they have when they won the Super Bowl?
There's some stat, like I can't remember the number. It's like 5 out of the last 6 or like 8 out of the last 10.
They're like 1% of the total cap.
Didn't even have a 1,000-yard rusher. And I guess
the position's getting faded out of the NFL.
Which is crazy because I will tell you that it's going to come back. There's always this giant thing in sports. And I'm not saying the split V is coming back one day or the I formation is coming back, but like I would imagine eventually running backs will be valued again. It's not this year. It's not next year. It's not anywhere in the near future. But eventually, I think we're going to circle on back and get to a place where running backs are valued. Do the Browns really need that right now? Yeah, man. I mean, you're all in on Watson. I think the hardest part is coming off of Chubb's injury here and knowing what you're going to have with that. But some things that have happened already this offseason, I think, have really helped the Browns. I do. I think the running back situation for some of the positions that are available, even how free agency plays out. But I think you open the door for Zadarius Smith and Joe Flacco to leave. That's what they're going to do. And you hope that they get undersold there. And you can maybe get him on some sort of deal. Andrew Berry's crunching those numbers and figuring it out. I keep coming back to, I just think that this is the offseason to take a bite out of that Watson deal. So for that, you might be limited. Like, excuse me. Dude, I'm thinking 2 or 3 free agents and that's it. If that. Like, I'm being dead serious. I think your team is pretty built. You got some position battles you got to figure out. I really don't see the Browns being major players here.
And that's not a bad thing.
I have no problem with it.
Look at that.
I don't.
They love change. They love the names, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
They love jumping in. Yeah, they love jumping in all this stuff.
You have to build in the draft.
No,
Everybody knows that.
I agree. Final thing for our bracket. Electric tweets Shake Shack. Did you put Swenson's in there? We should probably put Swenson's in there.
Oh, that's definitely going to win.
Paul tweets Mr. Hero. Mr. Hero's in, Paul. Thank you very much for the tweet. Swenson's?
I feel like if I put that in, that's because people love it around here. It's not like a national thing.
I mean, it's not like we got to hold things out because they're going to win.
All right.
Rigged election, Ryan. We don't want to do that. Need not be doing that. You got room for Swenson's? We got one more spot, right?
Yeah, we have room.
All right, throw Swenson's in there. That's in from Electric on Twitter. Again, tweet us your favorite fast food place. We'll get to our bracket coming up. Got a jam-packed time hop. That's going to have a fun discussion coming up. Immaculate Grid, morning update. That's all coming up here with Hour 2. We got it all on Big Play. Last night, what a night. Big Play Cleveland show. I know Gab. Well, we just saw Gab. She was in here. Well, no, I'm sorry. I saw their video from last week. Who did they have on last night?
Well, they actually didn't have a guest because they just played Gab's montage.
That's it. She did some interviews out there in Arizona. So she was out there. You had Come Get Some with Blake and Greg. You had Hanford. You had Booby's show last night. I saw Bobby Carpenter with Josh Perry doing some Ohio State. They had a great question on their show. Did you see it on Sunday? When you play NCAA, EA Sports, if you couldn't play with Ohio State, who would you play with?
I never would play with Ohio State, so
yeah, no,
easy choice for me.
If you couldn't play with Cincinnati, who would you play with?
It would have to be some low.
I mean, you grab a MAC school and you do what a lot of people do. You build the dynasty.
I don't know. That's
a great question. They posted that on again. Bobby Carpenter's show, all Ohio State Sundays. Garage Beer, love those guys. Typico's all there.
Bowling Green. I might mess around with Bowling Green.
Yeah, my father went to Bowling Green.
My father went to Bowling Green too.
A lot of people do Ohio, Western Kentucky, something like that. It was a great question, folks. We got it all for you in Big Play tonight. Josh and Maria Cribbs with their return. And Enter the Jungle, James Rapine. I think they have Ted Karras on tonight. I think I saw that on the show tonight.
Yeah, they have somebody.
I think it's Ted Karras, former Ohio State, former lineman for the Bengals. You want to know an interesting story about Ted Karras? You know who his uncle was? Alex Karras, former I keep saying Ohio State, God bless it. Former NFL lineman, but more importantly, played Mongo in Blazing Saddles. Can I get a message to James? He's got to ask Ted about that. Now, unfortunately, his uncle has since passed away, but his uncle was a football player who then went over into acting. Alex Karras. So I think, again, I should probably check that. I just know I saw James Rapine, who hosts.
No, I'm almost positive you're right.
That he said, I think he's having Ted Karras on.
Yeah. No.
Yeah, tonight, 8 o'clock. Yep. They're having Ted Karras on. By God. That's a get tonight. Folks, Big Play is everywhere you need it. Everywhere that you need it. Enter the Jungle is the show. Sin Bengals Talk is what it is on Twitter. And they're going to have Ted Karras on tonight at 8 o'clock. I got to send James a message. You got to ask him about his uncle. He has to. We got it all for you at Big Play, folks. BigPlay.com is our website. Follow us on Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and then you'll see all of the shows. We do a great job of aggregating a lot of our clips. So if you follow at Big Play, you can see all the shows that you want to follow. Got you locked and loaded here on a Tuesday. Coming up at Big Play. Let's catch our break. Got morning update. We got our immaculate grid, and we got a great time hop coming your way as well. Hour 2 upon us. Stay with us right here on Big Play. right, let's get into it. The morning update, stories that you got to know. Get to our Typico boost coming up. Some other things for this hour. Brian Hoyer responded to Johnny Manziel. And this is so wounds of the past, but I just thought it was interesting, so we'll get to that coming up. ESPN also ranked the best college quarterbacks, the top 80 quarterbacks of the 2000s.
That'd be fun.
I'll tell you who number one was and where some Ohio State guys came out.
I could tell you who number one was.
Well, we'll get to that in a second. You know for a fact? You think you know who it is?
I have to imagine that this guy is the number one.
All right, we'll get to that coming up a little bit. And the Immaculate Grid, feeling good on that. We got too much stuff for an hour, Ryan. It's already 10:06. Better get to it. Morning update. Take it away.
All right, well, Kyrie Irving, yes, is going to make his return to Cleveland here as the Cavaliers take on the Dallas Mavericks at Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, Matt. And we put together a pretty good boost, I think, about it.
Let's get to a boost, yes!
Alrighty, Matt. Over 24.5 Darius Garland points and assists. Trying to get him back on the Schneid here. Under 25.5.
Not back on the Schneid, off the Schneid. That's the thing. He's not on the Schneid because people are just creating this narrative. I think he's going to show up and show out tonight. I hope
Well, somebody that we hope doesn't show out tonight, that is our old friend Kyrie Irving. We're going under 25.5 points, but the over on an alternate total points at 227.5, Matt. Typico boosted it up to plus 550 for us.
By God. Can I derail the show while I download my Typico app right now? Or not download. Not download. It's been downloaded for a long time. I'm opening it. 550, man. What do you think? A little 15? A little 15? Dude, 15 to win 97?
I love
that
it.
is in. That's in place. Typico. Use that code Fontana100. Savory, if you will. Yeah, I mean, tonight, update our Twitter question if you don't mind, please, Ryan. Yeah, so we asked everybody on
quite
Two
the
for
dichotomy
Tuesday.
here, Matt.
All right, we
Quite
asked
the
everybody,
dichotomy.
would you retire Kyrie's jersey? Where are we at?
Well, 51.6%. Oh my gosh, say yes.
Wow, it flipped. It was
flipped.
no earlier.
But
no earlier.
I told you about that. Oh, wrong sound.
That's okay.
Just kidding.
We'll
I told you about that Art Modell comment that 68 Truth had, but David had quite the opposite. He says he made one of the biggest shots in Cavaliers history to bring the city a title. Put him in the rafters and put a statue of him and LeBron. Yeah, that's kind of ridiculous.
No. Let's not get that confused here. You get one statue, it's LeBron. Okay, that's it. Kyrie, he's got his place in history. I will forever stand by. He gets the rafter that everybody else gets. It's the championship one. Everybody else gets that. He gets to say he was a part of that. He wants to go in the Hall of Fame or the Ring of Honor one day. He can do that. He's a great Cavalier. The other question I thought about, do you look at people weird if you see them wearing it? Like tonight, if they wear a Kyrie Irving 2 Cavs jersey, because those jerseys ain't cheap, and they probably bought a lot of them. Do you look weird? I don't
look at him weird. I don't know. I think it's a bit strange just because that day he's going against
It's been
the Cavs.
so long, too.
I don't know. I mean, I wouldn't look at him weird.
Fair enough.
Jerseys are expensive these days.
Yeah, I mean, tonight, I expect the Cavs to get a win tonight. I want them to get a win, show out a little bit tonight, have Darius have a big game, too, lock down Kyrie a little bit. I will get him in foul trouble. How about that? Get Kyrie in some foul trouble. Get him out of that game.
All right, well, the talk of the NBA last night, Matt. I don't know if you caught the ending of the Knicks game.
How nuts was that?
Well, Dante DiVincenzo pretty much tackled Asor Thompson, but of course the refs didn't call it. They get the Knicks to win.
Literally, the ref was standing right there. Now, it was a crazy play because then the ball got bounced back out near half court.
Atrocious, man.
What I got so confused on was watching because there was blue and white jerseys, right? Am I whatever. And the guy that had it at the free throw line was in the white. It looked like he was on offense. He was actually on defense, got the ball stripped. Crazy ending. And of course, Monty Williams is going to
the worst call of the season. It's all right, Matt. We know they gave him that $18 million bag, so I think he'll be all right. But he called it the worst call of the season, and it might be up there.
It's pretty bad. I mean, again, it's when you have the standard that is still a gray area. This is a foul. This isn't. This is a penalty in football. It's not. This is a ball in baseball versus a strike. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? It's all human interpretation. Now, I'm also one that I enjoy the human the human input, I should say, of a game. You're going to have human refs. That's the element of it. I go back to sometimes you work the refs and sometimes they see stuff and don't. If anything, let them play. Let them play. And that's what happened. Why is Detroit pissed? Because they lost. Maybe you should cover the guy that was wide open back door that had a layup to tie the game. How about that? And then got fouled, right?
Yep, and one.
There you go. Maybe you should have covered that. I don't know what to tell you. I think I actually am all for it. until it costs my team something, then I'll be bitching up in arms. But still, I think it's what these sports want. As long as they're not going to have robot refs out there, that's what you're going to have. I think it's an element of the game. Sorry, got to deal with it.
Alrighty, well, a report came out this morning, Matt, that the Buccaneers are planning on releasing two-time Pro Bowl linebacker Shaquille Barrett. And yes, the Browns definitely could use a linebacker, given that we have a couple going there in free agency, man. I'm not sure the numbers there would work out, but of course, I got to imagine this offseason he's going to be linked to our Cleveland Browns.
Well, and the thing is, it's like they have a $12 million dead cap for next year to save like $8 this year. It's so weird. And again, you got to cut guys dead cap and what you owe them and all that, but to save a little bit now to owe yourself that much. I mean, we talk about missing on draft picks, sinking a team. Your salary cap can screw you up even more than the draft. Like, you got to hit on picks, sure, but you cannot overpay for guys. And sometimes we're talking about relatively slim margins of millions of dollars, but still, you know, you overpay a little bit here and there, that starts adding up. Your salary cap will sink your team even faster than the draft will. That's just a fact.
Well, Matt, Live Golf claimed another great golfer in Anthony Kim, and I know you're going to have quite the thoughts on it, so I'm excited to hear what your thoughts on that are.
What? Like, I'm anti-Live. I don't like the Live Tour. They took some of my favorite golfers. Frankly, they took some guys I can't stand, too, so that's great. I don't have to see them play on Sundays in the PGA Tour anymore. They're making a big deal about a guy that hasn't played in 12 years. And I know Anthony Kim was seen, for those that don't know, and Ryan, I don't know if you know much about this guy. So Anthony Kim, literally 15 years ago, people thought he might be the next Tiger. He was a prodigy. He was never won a major, but was in it, I think collapsed at a Masters and gave away the green jacket. You know, again, seen as the next Messiah, right? Well, then he gets injured. I think it was Achilles injury. And he had an insurance policy that he ended up cashing in for, I think, $12 million. And the stipulation was he could never play professional golf again. That was meant more of like he had a debilitating injury, but he didn't want to play anymore. And he was always this ghost, you know, this figure where people always like, whatever happened to Anthony Kim? You know, where's he at? What's he doing? And they would catch up with him for interviews, you know, like 5 years ago. And they said, dude, you even play golf? He goes, I don't even go putts around at a muni course anymore. He goes, I don't play golf at all anymore. So again, going from borderline the height of the PGA Tour, playing in tournaments, majors, to I don't even go to the driving range anymore. And now they got him back. And there was reports that he was considering coming back to the PGA Tour. But of course he went to Live because he needs a chunk of change to pay back the insurance policy that he cashed in because he's defaulting on it. He's playing professional golf again. Ask me if I care.
Matt, do you care?
Nope. Yeah, they got John Rahm. That's big, okay? And I hope not. They got Xander Schauffele. If they got Max Homa, if they got Rory, then I'm turning an eye and go, okay, what's going on? Anthony Kim? No. This is a publicity stunt. And he might go out there and win. He might do all these great things. That's fine. I start with not liking Live. I understand that. But there's a PR stunt. It is. And I know that there's a world that they're going to have to get this stuff figured out about what they're going to do to coexist between the PGA Tour and Live Golf and all that. But Anthony can't really? Guy's been gone for 12 years. Playing tournament 12 years. Okay. They'll get a little juice out of that. I don't watch. So I don't know how well he's going to do or not. But we'll see how that plays out. Good job for them. Good PR move for millions of dollars that they had to spend on that. So I don't know. All right, we'll get to that college football quarterback ranking in a second because I know Ryan's very excited to see if he can get number one on that. I've got that. I've got some more Cavs things. But Ryan, let's get to it. Our Immaculate Grid of the day. Here we go. Here's how it works on the Immaculate Grid. Yesterday, we left one spot open. That is 1 point for the fans. Here's how it goes. You see across there, we've got Seattle, the Patriots, and the Steelers on the left side. So we need a Seattle Bronco. We need a Seattle 49er. And what's that final one there?
5,000 plus career receiving yards.
Okay, we got that. So you got to add them all up. If we get the entire grid, we only get a point. This benefits you. So every grid that we leave open, you get a point on that. We missed just one yesterday. Let's see how we go today. So Ryan, as we start things out, is there anything you're feeling really good about
Well, should we knock out the 5,000-yard receivers?
Okay, let's do that. So, and we got to make sure that these guys don't apply anywhere else because I've got an easy. You just want to lay out Wes Welker for Broncos,
I thought of, yeah.
Patriots. Go ahead and throw him in there right now. Let's start it out on a good start. Wes Welker, done. Because for 5,000 receiving yards, you can just go ahead and put Rob Gronkowski. You could put Julian Edelman. Randy Moss. Although, does Randy? No, Randy doesn't apply anywhere else here. Okay, so any of those guys, the rarity score might help us there. Not that we really count for that, but go ahead and throw in whoever you want there. Who are you going with?
I'm just going to go with Randy.
That's fine. Randy Moss, done and done. There he is, done. So here we go. 5,000 receiving yards, Seattle Seahawks. I thought Steve Largent just for a reason, for a quick one there, but,
How about, I got to imagine.
Tyler Lockett's got to be there too.
Percy Harvin? Maybe not. Doug Baldwin.
Go. I feel more confident on Tyler Lockett.
He's got to be at 5,000.
Yeah, Largent I think would be good too, but Lockett, I feel probably a lot better about Tyler Lockett. Done and done. Here we go.
Steelers, we got a few we can pick from.
I don't want to do Hines Ward in there, but I guess we probably
Antonio
should.
Brown.
Oh, yeah, we could do that too. We could do that. Heath Miller, the tight end.
There you go.
He's got to have 5,000. He was there forever.
Which one are we feeling?
Whatever one you want. Let's fill it out. All right, good job there. All right, so now gets to the tricky points. I feel like we just need to start focusing on some
teams. You got a laser
teams.
tunnel vision.
Oh, well, Denver, Seattle's easy. You could do Drew Lock or Noah Fant on that big Russell Wilson trade. So you could do either one of those guys there. Done. Okay. Seattle 49ers. There's got to be a receiver. Doug Baldwin's now stuck in my head. Like, I feel like, but I don't think he went there. And it's so hard because they're in the same division, so you don't get a lot of trades there. This is going to have to be a free agency thing. Kickers? No. Huh. Seattle, the 49ers. Quarterbacks. They ran through quite a few there. Pre-Russell. Matt Flynn. He came over from Green Bay. I don't know if he ever went to San Francisco. By the way, I get messages from people after. They're like, you guys are idiots.
Yeah.
How could you forget this guy or forget that guy? That's kind of where we're at
That's
right
expected.
now. Yeah, that kind of happened. Man, this is going to be a tough one. All right, let's go. You want to think Patriots here for a second?
Yeah, Patriots-Niners.
Patriots-Niners.
Did Kendrick Bourne play for the Niners?
What about Brian Hoyer?
Yeah.
Did Hoyer go to the 49ers?
Oh,
man.
Oh, dude.
What?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh, yeah, Jimmy G. There you go. That's an easy one. Yeah. Yeah. Jimmy Garoppolo. There you go. That's a nice, easy one there. All right, we're back on the train. All right, Steelers, Broncos, Steelers, 49ers. Steelers, Broncos.
There's got to be one there.
I feel like there's got to be a defensive player. We miss on the corners. We never hit a corner.
Yeah,
here.
we do.
We never seem to really get a corner on this. Man. Defensive tackle. Like, who's there now that's been pretty well traveled? I don't know why. No, because Josie Jewell. I don't think he ever played for the for the Steelers. I know he played with the Broncos. I think he might even still be there. Antonio Brown, yeah, neither there. Le'Veon Bell, never, this guy's a left. Tight end wise. Oh, man. Legacy tight. And again, I know there's one that's probably staring us down the barrel here. Quarterback? Mitchell? Nothing? No?
No, Trevor Siemian didn't.
No, not with those guys. Not with Denver. Man, again, kickers.
Did Paxton Lynch play anywhere else?
Yeah, but I don't think he went to Pittsburgh. Did he go to Pittsburgh?
Dude, I don't know.
Oh, my God.
I don't know.
Might have.
I don't know.
But he had to have played in a game.
That's the
Why am I thinking that Paxton Lynch maybe actually did? Man. Why do I think that he actually maybe did? Huh. That one's tough.
We got 9 minutes theoretically.
Well, from when we started, yeah. I'm trying to go back. I'm struggling on like kickers, right?
How can we not get Seahawks Niners?
Seahawks Niners.
Didn't the Niners sign like Bobby Wagner or something?
No, he went to the Rams. He went to the Rams, then went right back to Seattle. Yeah. Richard Sherman. Richard Sherman. Oh my God.
Wow, we just had a brain burst together.
Not a good weekend for Richard Sherman, by the way. Oh my God, Richard Sherman. Yes, good call. All right. So now we should be better on the Steelers here. We should be really a lot better on Steelers here. Man. I'm trying to go back to like the 2000s eras and some Steelers guys that, kind of fit their way in there and that kind of stuff. Some other wide receivers. Antoine Randall L. I don't think went to either one of those other teams. Cordell Stewart? No.
Dude, oh my
I don't know why I thought of Jesse James, the tight end, because he came here, but I don't know if he went anywhere else. 49ers, Steelers. There's got to be a massive, like, huge crossover guy that we're not thinking of in this.
Yeah.
Like a legendary type of player there. Again, I feel like we're missing out on the kickers here. I feel like we're missing,
the only Steelers kicker, obviously, that Boswell for a minute.
Yeah, but I don't think he went anywhere else. No legacy, God, who is the Steelers kicker forever that just used to beat us all the time? I'm just Googling that. It's not that I'm going to Google where this guy played. Jeff Reed is the guy I was thinking of. Yeah, Matt Barr was there too. Sean. Oh, okay. I did Google one that you could use if you wanted to.
No, we can't.
All right, we can't use that guy. That's what I'm thinking of there. Chris Gardocki.
Wow, that's a name.
Well, I mean, obviously he played here, but then he was in Pittsburgh. San Fran. No, I don't think so. Got to be a lineman at some point, right?
Yeah.
Oh, my God, this is so hard.
Joe Hayden didn't go anywhere else.
No. TJ Ward left us and went to Denver. Man, we got to get better on the draft picks is where we got to go.
All right, well, who have the Broncos drafted lately?
Well, the guys that are all there still. Like, that's the problem. You got to go back so many years where they're like Noshawn Moreno. You remember him?
Yeah, running back.
Yeah. God bless it. There was another running back too. Now I'm starting to think Noshawn Moreno played for the. You know when I say it and then I like picture him in the Steelers uniform? Like, wait a minute. I think Noshawn Moreno played for the Steelers. I think he did. But I don't know if that's actually true or not.
Gotta get at least one more.
Yeah, man, dude, this is. I don't know why I think Paxton Lynch. I don't know why I'm thinking
Steelers?
Paxton Lynch.
I mean, should we try it?
Try it.
I don't feel good about it. Well, but the thing is, it only says 2016 to 17, so I don't think they have him in there.
Really?
I can't imagine he'd be a right answer.
All right, I'm just for. Yeah, he only played 2 seasons in Denver.
Like, who are we missing?
Technically, he did go to Pittsburgh. He signed the practice squad, went to the active roster, and then. I mean, I don't think it's going to count because it was in 2019. I was pretty sure that he did go to Pittsburgh. So if you want to give that one to us, because I don't know if he actually appeared in a game, though. That's the problem. Professional statistics, he never appeared in a game for the Steelers. That's why that doesn't count. Damn it. I don't know, man. We might have to call this one. Give 2 points to the fans. We're getting bad at this. We're not getting better.
I just don't understand why. Like, I can't think right now. Like, who is on the Broncos Super Bowl team?
Yeah,
Willis McGahee?
I thought about him earlier, but I know he didn't go to Pittsburgh. I don't think he played in Pittsburgh, pretty sure. You know, San Francisco, again, might have to give up, man.
What's that one running back?
I don't know. Might have to call it, Ryan. 2 points for the fans today. I think that's where we're at.
I'm just going to throw Paxton in there.
All right, see how it goes. It ain't going to count. Fair enough. All right. Giving up. Here we are. Let's go. 44 for the Steelers.
Steelers,
What?
Emmanuel Sanders.
Nah, that was a tough one.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have gotten that one. Should have gotten that one, but we didn't.
I mean, some of these names, like Nick Van Nett.
Oh, my God. I forgot about Ohio State's own Nick Van Nett.
I mean, but
You're
these
right.
are tough. Like, I don't recognize any of these.
That's all right. Name them so we have them in the
Bob Adams, Frank Atkinson,
No.
Mitch Berger.
No, keep it more recent. Can you search by...
Anthony Chiquillo, 2020.
Oh, yeah, the linebacker.
Paul
Yeah.
Ernster, Ryan
punter.
Harris, Steven Johnson,
All right.
Ryan McBean.
All right.
Yeah.
All
that's
right.
tough.
So fair enough. Go to Steelers 49ers on this one now.
Rod Woodson.
He did?
Emmanuel Sanders again.
Yeah.
Javon Hargrave.
Javon Hargrave? That's not right. Steelers 49ers?
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Quan Alexander, Matt Barr,
Yeah, okay. Oh,
Arnez Battle. See, these are all 90s. Like, dude, I don't know any of these.
you said
players.
Javon Hargrave, right?
Yeah.
Did he get drafted by the Steelers?
didn't
Oh
I-
my God,
Ray
he
Ray
got drafted
McLeod.
by the Steelers. Oh, I
Ray
forgot
Ray
about Ray
McLeod.
McLeod.
Vance McDonald. Those are tough, though, Matt. Those are
Some tough ones. All right, 2 points, total of 3 for the week there on the fans. We'll do a little bit better tomorrow on our Immaculate Grade. All right, we flip over to ESPN. This comes from Bill Connolly. So Bill puts out his top 50 quarterbacks of the 2000s. And Ryan swears that he's going to be able to get number one. We'll run through Ohio State guys in a second. But Ryan, I want to start at the top. And I want to see how many of the top 5 you can list of Bill Connolly's top 80 college quarterbacks of the last 20-odd some years.
Oh, so it can go to 20 to now.
No. Sorry. 2000
To 2010?
The 2000s.
Yeah. So
Well, I guess that would count. The 2000s. That's what he listed as.
well, do you see like recent ones in there? Is that how he did it? Or is
Yeah, there's some.
Okay.
Hang on, let me see if he qualifies this. He doesn't say anything about like recency. Let me see if I can
Okay.
search. Let me see if I can search like 2023. Yeah, I mean he's got Michael Penix is on this list, so it kind of counts.
Okay. I mean, still. We
All
can
right, but
figure it
still,
out.
all right. Number one on the list, do you believe from Bill Connolly?
Did he go Vince Young?
No,
Did he go Tim Tebow?
no.
Did he go?
Now you have 2 of the top 5 guys. Yes.
Okay. So like this is where it gets dicey because you have your Trevor Lawrences, you have your Joe Burrows.
Joe Burrow was 5. So I'll tell you this: Joe Burrow was 5. Tim Tebow was 4. Vince Young was 3.
Okay. Is Baker Mayfield in there?
Baker Mayfield is number 1.
Wow.
And he writes,
Wow.
Oh, who do you think number 2 is?
Cam Newton?
Cam Newton is correct. So you got a top 5.
Oh, let's go.
And he writes, he goes, Newton, Vince Young, and Joe Burrow had the best seasons. Baker Mayfield had the best career
That's fair.
at Texas Tech, then Oklahoma. So again, Baker is 1, Cam is 2, Vince Young is 3, Tebow is 4, Joe Burrow is 5. Here's my issue. Baker Mayfield does not have a national championship. Those other guys do. I think that should factor into this. Now, he's right. Joe Burrow had probably the best season of anybody. But you're telling me Vince Young, when they took down USC?
I think that should be number 1.
I do too. I honestly think Tebow I think it should go Vince Young, Tebow, then Cam, then Burrow, then Baker. I don't think Baker should be number 1. But he said career. How can you say that? He didn't win a national championship. I'll give you one guess who number 6 is.
Is it
I wouldn't say that unless there was some tie to us right now.
Deshaun Watson?
Deshaun Watson is 6. Deshaun Watson, Clemson. 10,168 passing yards, 67 completion percentage, 90 touchdowns, 32 interceptions with 2,000 rushing yards and 26 rushing touchdowns. And Bill writes, remember when Clemsoning meant failing in spectacular fashion? That's because Watson came to town and flipped Dabo's program from good to elite. He averaged 4,300 passing yards, 867 rushing yards in 3 seasons, first leading the Tigers to the college football title game and winning it the next year.
Yeah, they beat Alabama.
That's right. Kyler Murray, 7. Lamar Jackson, 8. Marcus Mariota, 9.
Wow.
Robert Griffin III was 10. So correct me if I'm wrong on all of this. Of the top 10, Deshaun and Robert Griffin III were the only ones to not win the Heisman, right? Baker won the Heisman.
Yeah, run through them real quick.
Baker, Cam, Vince Young, Tebow, Burrow, Watson, Murray, Lamar, Mariota, and RG3. Of that top 10, I think RG3 and Watson were the only ones to not win the Heisman.
Yeah, who won over RG3? Was it
Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck. So there it is. Trevor Lawrence was 11, Colt McCoy 12, Johnny Manziel 13, Kellen Moore 14, Sam Bradford was 15. Andrew Luck was 18. I'll give you one guess of the more recent quarterbacks who was the first one on the list. Played within the last 5 years. At number 19.
Played within the last 5 years.
Yeah.
5 years.
Or within the last 3. That still qualifies for this guy within the last 3. All these other guys are within like the last 10 years. Well, I would say 10 years. Trevor Lawrence was within the last 5. You know, Lamar, Kyler Murray, Baker, all that kind of stuff.
Hurts?
No. He put Jaden Daniels at 19.
Wow.
Bryce Young at 20. I'll give you one guess who the first Ohio State quarterback is at 21.
Troy Smith?
CJ Stroud.
Oh, wait, my bad. We're talking about post. Yeah, that's my bad.
No, Troy Smith is in this.
Early
Troy
2000s,
Smith was 37. That's why I think he won the Heisman.
Yeah.
So of Ohio State quarterbacks, CJ Stroud was 21.
But CJ doesn't have a Heisman or a title.
I know. Justin Fields was 32. Troy Smith was 37. JT Barrett was 70. I think that's selling JT Barrett short, by the way. I put him up as any Ohio State quarterback. Again, he didn't win the national championship, didn't win the Heisman, all that kind of stuff. But that's it. JT Barrett was 70. Troy Smith, 37, which I think is a little underrated. 32 for Justin Fields, and CJ Stroud was 21 there for Ohio State quarterbacks. I wish he laid it out. I wanted to see how many which team had the most quarterbacks.
Is Desmond Ridder on there?
Let me see for you here. Nope. Didn't make it. Ben Roethlisberger was 31. Penix was 33. Colin Kaepernick, 35. Chase Daniel, Ken Dorsey was 40, new Browns offensive coordinator. Stetson Bennett, 41. Again, the guy won 2 national championships. Or didn't he win 3?
Who?
Dude, remember Landry Jones?
Yeah.
I wanted the Browns to draft Landry Jones so bad. He was 43 just ahead of Alex Smith. Pretty interesting list here, man. Yeah. R.I.P. Colt Brennan, 46. Byron Leftwich, yeah. Brady Quinn, 50. Kyle Trask, 52. Jordan Lynch, remember him from Northern Illinois? 53. Denard Robinson, Michigan, 54. I don't think there's another Michigan quarterback on this list. Hang on.
Yeah, I don't know who it would be. Post 2000.
Yeah, he's the only one. They didn't put J.J. McCarthy on the list. There you go. So I just thought that was interesting. So again, you kind of nailed the top 5. You got Baker at number 1. I don't really necessarily agree with that. That's Bill Conley's list of the top 80. Do you want to talk about this thing I tweeted out this morning?
What's that?
So,
the Johnny Football?
Yeah, the Johnny Football thing. So Brian Hoyer came out this morning. He was on Good Morning Football. So this started with Johnny I don't even remember when it was, about his time in Cleveland. And he said, Brian Hoyer screwed me over. He wanted nothing to do with me. He didn't help anything.
Yeah, okay, Johnny.
Brian Hoyer was on Good Morning Football this morning. And he said, I feel bad that Johnny felt that way, but I was here to win a job. He then said, and I quote, "I never had any animosity towards Johnny. If anything, it was towards the owner and GM who were always trying to push him ahead of me when clearly he wasn't ready and I was the starter," is what he said this morning on Good Morning Football, talking about Johnny Manziel. That time was so crazy. It was an interesting time. It's way past, and I guess I don't really look at it and say, like, it's tit for tat. It's they said this, it was this. Johnny Manziel didn't help himself. He cost himself a lot of money. He would never probably worked in the NFL. Browns made a huge mistake. I just thought it was interesting that Hoyer came straight out and he was like, no, my animosity is towards the owner and the GM.
Man, I thought we were tripping, and we were.
What?
RG3 won over Andrew Luck.
He did?
Yeah.
Okay, my fault. My fault. So again, in the top 10, and I'm not missing anybody else, right? Everybody else on that list won a Heisman.
No, I know everybody else on the list did win a Heisman. Yeah.
Except Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, Deshaun didn't win one.
No. Now you got me Googling it. You know what's going to bother me the rest of the day? Javon Hargrave. I forgot that he got drafted by the Steelers. I did. I forgot that. I did. No. National champion, Johnny Unitas Golden Arm, Davey O'Brien Award winner, Manning Award, but never won the Heisman.
Wait, what year would that have been?
For Deshaun?
Yeah, 2016?
15, 16, and I guess 17.
Okay.
So if you want to look up Heisman winners.
2016 had to have been
Lamar. Or no, I'm sorry. This is when
Baker.
No, 2016 was Lamar. Then Baker was 2016.
Yeah,
I know it gets
yeah.
fluky on like the year they played versus when they won it. So this is the list of 2014 was Mariota. Then 15, Derrick Henry. Then Lamar. Then Baker. Then Kyler Murray. Joe Burrow, Devontae Smith, Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels. Those are your Heisman Trophy winners there.
How Barkley didn't win it, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. Am I missing one? There's no way all top 10 of those guys got it. Right?
No, they definitely did.
Okay. I'm just making sure. I'm all thrown off now on our immaculate grid. We got to get back. I got to start studying. I got to start studying a little bit for that. All right, Ryan, let's skip the break. Let's get right to it. Let's get to Time Hop. Tell you what happened this day in history. Let's get to it. All right, we head back and tell you what happened on the 27th of February. The dates, including just 1 year ago today, it was announced that Jimmy and Dee Haslam had bought a piece of the Milwaukee Bucks. I got so confused because they said they couldn't get that they bought a piece of the evaluation and it was $3 billion. Everybody thought that they spent $3 billion for a piece of the Bucks. Now they just bought in to the Milwaukee Bucks. Hey, the Haslam Sports Group, they own the crew. They're probably going to own more. Got to get the stadium done. Bought into the Bucks 1 year ago today. Also 1 year ago today, a report very eerily similar to what we're dealing with right now. The Chicago Bears have been approached by teams willing to trade for the first overall pick. Of course, they would trade that to the Panthers. I think worked out because I don't think Bryce Young's going to be very good. And here we sit with the same exact scenario 1 year later. This one always makes me laugh because this day, 2019, Giants general manager Dave Gettleman dropped the famous line, "We didn't sign Odell Beckham to trade him." They would trade him about a month and a half later and get him out of there. That trade's a wash. Okay, they got Dexter Lawrence out of it. We got Olivier Vernon. I don't know what to tell you. It's just funny when you hear general managers, and that's a big debate I used to have about, well, they lied. No, they were operating on what they thought at that time, and things changed, but they ended up trading him away. This day, 2018, the Guardians, trying to recreate a little magic, signed Mike Napoli to a minor league deal. Sad thing, he would end up tearing his ACL and didn't play for us at all that season.
Hardy Annapolis was a very
Would
interesting.
you rather have him or Stephen Vogt? And that's an unfair question to ask.
Like as a manager?
Yeah. Because Mike Napoli is the first base coach, I think, still with the Cubs.
I don't know. I don't know if I can answer that.
I think that there's a good thing about not having Mike Napoli because you knew him a little bit. You know, we're going to get into more Guardians talk as we go, and trust me, people are all pissed off about the team and what you expect them to be. I think I like Stephen Vogt. Yeah. He's got my vote of confidence. Sorry. I know. I'm mad at myself for that.
You're the one who said you hate low-hanging fruit.
I know, that's bad. I think they got the right guy. Now, the thing is, the talent, the pitching rotation, all that kind of stuff, we got to figure it out, but I do like Stephen Vogt. This day, 2009, the Browns traded away Kellen Winslow to the Buccaneers for a second-round pick. fleeced him. He is now a convicted felon and in prison. Butch liked his Miami guys, man. And Kellen Winslow had that 1 year in 07 where you thought, okay, this is the guy. Never panned out that way, though. This day, 1996, the Bulls set a record that lasted for, ironically, exactly 20 years. The Bulls reached 50 wins in just 56 games. They were 50-6, and they became the fastest team in any of the 4 major sports to win 50 games in just 56. Now, the Warriors would break that by 1. In 2016, they were 50-5. So they won 50 games in 55 games versus 56, taking that record away from the Chicago Bulls. This is an important one. This day, 1996, the reason that we are celebrating Pokemon Day today, Pokemon Red and Green were released in Japan, spawning. Dude, you're too young, and I'm not trying to play the age thing here. You don't understand how people waiting in line, getting in fights over the deck of cards, like how the Pokemon phenomenon, when it hit America, I probably won't ever see anything like it ever again.
Stanley Cups?
Not even that, because you got collecting and trading. Like in school, we had Pokemon Day. It got shut down because somebody stole a holographic Charizard card. Nobody owned up to it, and they ruined Pokemon Day for us. I have so many memories, man. One was for my birthday one year. My Aunt Ellie, I love to death. She called my mom. She goes, I'm at the store trying to pick out these Pokemon cards for Matt. And I said, get Alakazam! I need Alakazam! Get one with Al. And she goes, I have no idea what in the hell you are talking about. What is an Alakazam?
That's the bro with the spoons, right?
Yeah! And I'm sitting there over the phone trying to explain to my aunt what Alakazam was to get the right, and again, you don't know what you're going to pull in the deck anyway. The day I got my Game Boy, I used to go over to my best friend's house, ironically named Ryan, when I was growing up. And I'd go to Ryan's house, and I didn't have a Game Boy yet. And he had a Game Boy Color. And Ryan would be like, all right, man, let's go in the pool or let's go ride bikes. I'm like, no, leave me alone. I'm playing your Game Boy. And I would go to my friend's house and not even play with my friend. I would just sit on his Game Boy all day. The day that my mom bought me, I still have it, a teal Game Boy Color with Pokemon Red. She bought it at Drug Mart, of all weird places to buy a Game Boy, but she did. One of my happiest days as a child.
Probably flip that for some change.
Hell no, I'll hold on to that thing. I want to go to the exchange and buy some stuff for my son. Be like, dude, this was 16-bit back in the day, man. This is how you played it. The question is, when you played with Pokemon, who was your starting Pokemon?
I flipped between fire and water, but I was mainly,
Charmander versus Squirtle.
You need Charizard. 100%.
Everybody wanted Charizard. And then the big thing when the yellow came out is you could catch all 150. So I still have my original red cartridge. I have all 151 in there. Now, I cheated, and I had a code that gave me unlimited Master Balls and unlimited Rare Candy. So I would just catch everything and then Rare Candy and elevate them up. But it was weird. You had to trade some to get them evolved and all that kind of stuff. You had the little link cables. You remember, did you ever see the kits that people would buy?
Yeah, I have one.
And you would put, which is crazy, like this is smaller actually than my Game Boy was. And you would set it in there, and it had the light and a magnifying glass and an extra battery pack that you would play.
Yeah, I would do it with my brother.
What a time, man. What a time. And I know Pokemon's still a pretty big thing, is it not?
Yeah. It's on like the Switch now. Like now it's like a open world RPG.
I know, I've seen that, where you can like Pokemon Go was a thing where you just like kind of walk around.
Yeah.
I've seen, I do a lot of nerdy things. This is the one thing that my wife thinks, above the Batman, which in the video games, when I get bored and there's nothing to watch, I will watch people do speed runs on Pokemon Red and Blue to see how fast they can get through the game. Here's the crazy thing. And even if you play a video game now as an adult that you played as a kid, there was so much stuff I had no idea about. When did you ever actually use X accuracy?
Yeah, I know.
You watch these speedrunner guys and gals, and they sit there and like, nope, got to pick this up and play it this way. I was 12. What did I know? I was just playing this battle. I was just jamming tackle the whole time. I didn't know there's a strategy to it. There's a day. I think about that often of what what the retirement home of my generation is going to look like. You're going to walk down the hallway and hear nothing but The Office and Parks and Rec theme. And at the end, where people used to play checkers and chess, you're going to see a group of me and my 70-year-old friends sitting there playing Pokemon. Sitting there playing our Sega Genesis back in the day. So it is Pokemon Day because it was released this day, 1996 in Japan. Pokemon Red and Green. Do you know about the death penalty in college football?
No.
Got handed down to SMU this day, 1987. They canceled their entire season. So imagine if a team at this point of the year, the NCAA came down and said, we are cutting your scholarships and you don't get to play football this year. It was because they had a slush fund that they were paying players and they were viewed as repeat violators. So they got what was called the death penalty back in 1987. That some people, because SMU was really good, then they weren't. Now you got guys fighting over millions of dollars in video games and all that kind of stuff. How far we have come. This day, this is a pretty funny one. This day, 1964, the Italian government asked for ideas on how to save the Leaning Tower of Pisa from falling over. I've seen it. I've been there. And yes, I took the Chachi. You're going to tell me you're going to go to Italy and not do it? I did too. I did one where I was leaning up against it and the other one of you trying to hold it up. Yeah. Bro, the picture that I have, there are 50 people in the background doing the same exact
You've been to the Washington Monument, right?
Yeah.
Obviously.
Oh, yeah.
Have you done that picture?
No, I have not. I'm not a 5-year-old. Lay it down. But I'll hold up the Leaning Tower of Pisa. Yeah, that's tasty. That's class. That's class right there. I'm in Italy. What are you gonna do, bro? You walk in. Cause here's the other funny thing about traveling, like international. You go to the Leaning Tower of Pisa. You're like, oh my God, this is a great piece of history and architecture. There's a line of tourist trap stuff. You want a t-shirt, you want a falafel, you want a lemonade. It's just so commercialized now. It's kind of sad to see. Got to get on the tour bus to get in there. It's pretty impressive to see, though. It is pretty cool to see. This day, 1951, the 22nd Amendment was ratified.
Nice.
Which said presidents can only serve 2 terms.
Yeah.
Can we add an age limit to that, please, for the love of God and the future of our country? That's not a right or left thing. That's just a fact. We need to add a freaking age limit to that thing. This day, 1901, the National League set the rule that foul balls count as strikes until you get to 2. This was to cut down on the cost of lost foul balls, and they considered it discipline for players who fouled off good pitches. So again, you know the rule now. It counts to 2, and you can't strike out on it, fouling off pitches. This day, 1827, the first ever Mardi Gras was held down there in New Orleans. So there it is. Very happy birthday goes to former Indians catcher Ron Hassey, James Worthy, Browns linebacker David Grayson, Browns linebacker Van Waiters, Tony Gonzalez, Chandler Jones, Chris Godwin, Elizabeth Taylor, Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Josh Groban, Jay Wow of Jersey Shore fame, and our very dear friend here at Big Play, Mr. Daniel Booby Gibson. Happy birthday, Booby for 3. 2-time NBA three-point competition participant, Mr. Daniel Booby Gibson, and you can catch the brand new Booby's World up at Big Play, wherever you need it, wherever you catch the video. So very happy birthday to Booby. No TVs or movies today, just one musical thing.
Okay.
The Eagles released Hotel California this day, 1977.
Is it overrated?
I don't know, man. I mean, it's one of the greatest selling albums of all time. Right?
I'm sure.
Highest selling album of all time. Would you dare guess?
Is it not Thriller?
It is Thriller. So, of this, I don't think you'd be able to get it.
Try me.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There's 10 albums that have claimed sales of 40 million or more. There's only 10. Thriller is number 1. Hotel California is the other. Could you name any of the other 8?
Of the most top.
So again,
albums?
there's only 10 albums in the world that have claimed sales of 40 million or more.
Okay, well, how many of them are Taylor Swift?
None.
Really?
None. And that's where I think this gets a little weird on this list of like what are albums versus like streams and stuff. It's actually like, so I guarantee you that'll never happen again because nobody buys physical media anymore. So I'll tell you this. Here's your hint.
Sgt. Pepper's?
No.
Really?
No. None of these albums have been released within your lifetime. Every single one of these is before your time.
Okay. Wow. Whew.
There's 3 of these you'll never get.
Dark Side of the Moon?
That is 1. Good job. I thought you might get that.
Is Madonna on there? I mean, like, I don't know the name of the albums. That's the problem.
She's not on it. All right, I'm just going to run through it.
Yeah, run through them.
Thriller is number 1 at 70 million. Number 2, AC/DC, Back in Black, 50. Then Whitney Houston and various artists for The Bodyguard at 45 million. Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon also at 45. The Eagles' Greatest Hits is at 44. Meatloaf, Bat Outta Hell, 43 million. Eagles, Hotel California is 42. Each of these is at 40. Shania Twain, Come On Over. Fleetwood Mac with Rumors. And the Bee Gees, various artists for Saturday Night Fever.
I was going to say the Bee Gees.
All
crazy.
40 plus million. I'm trying to look and see if there's any, like, the most recent ones. I've got 2002. Yeah, Eminem, the Eminem Show, 27 million. 2015, Adele, 25, did 23 million. That's it, man. All the rest of these are like, way, way long time ago. The best-selling album of the year worldwide. So here's the thing. We're talking about 20, 30, 40 million. Last year, or 2022, Jay Chow, I don't know. Greatest works of art sold 7.2 million. The year before that was Adele. The year before that was BTS. I think they're Korean band, right?
K-pop, yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. There it is on the best-selling albums. All right, Ryan, one last time for you before we get to our bracket. Typical boost. Here we go tonight, Cavs. 3 legs as we do. Feeling good about it tonight. We need points from Darius. We need Kyrie Irving to get into foul trouble and not score a lot of points. And we need the over tonight. Boost all the way plus over 500. Folks, get signed up with our friends at Tipico. Using that code Fontana100 when you sign up. Deposit and bet $25. You get $100 in bonus bets. Terms and conditions apply. Please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER if you've got a problem. Check it out there with our friends at Tipico. I'm feeling good for tonight.
What leg are you most confident in?
I think Darius goes off tonight. I think Darius is going to have a night tonight. I really do. I think it's almost like Donovan's like, here, shut these people up. Here you go. Fill it on up. So I like Darius tonight. I like the Cavs to win tonight. I like it all. So we'll get signed up there with our friends at Tipico. All right, Ryan, our bracket of the week. We are doing your favorite fast food chain. There's going to be people that bitch about, Chipotle or this or that. Ryan, please lay out our groups. We got groups in 1 and 2 going tonight.
Already, group 1. 1C Chipotle, followed by Five Guys, Mr. Hero, and Piata. Group 2, Chick-fil-A, Subway, Burger King, and Culver's. Those are going today, but tomorrow will be really McDonald's, Arby's, Raising Cane's, and Swenson's. And then finally, Wendy's, Taco Bell, Jimmy John's, and Shake Shack.
Not an easy one at all. I think Group 1. How are you going to make me pick between Chipotle and Mr. Hero? Mr. Hero is a Northeast Ohio classic.
You have a thing for Mr. Hero.
I love Mr. Hero. When we were growing up, right? So my parents had 5 boys. So going out for dinner was an endeavor. You weren't getting out of there for $40, right? And we used to do birthday dinners, and eventually we just transitioned to you get to pick what you want for your birthday dinner. Ryan, for birthdays, for I would say 10 years, we always got Mr. Hero.
Wow.
Because, again, Mr. Hero was not cheap either, but my parents loved it. So they passed this love of the Roman burger, but their tuna. There is no better tuna sub on this planet than Mr. Hero. I get no onions. I don't like onions.
That's crazy. That's a crazy
I don't
take.
like onions.
Grow up.
So, Mr. Hero tuna. Forever goated. But what are you going to do with Chipotle, man? It's Chipotle. It's everything right now. I'm a little angry
that's the
you put
easy
those in the
pick.
same
That's
one.
the easy pick.
I think I'm angry. I'm going to vote Mr. Hero to give it some support that I think it needs it. I think it needs it. So I'm going to vote Mr. Hero on that. That's a tough seat. Now here I'm complaining about the bracket already. Vote on that at Matt Fontana Show. We'll be sending those out as we roll. We had a little primer for next week too, Ryan. Because we do, or at least I've done this my whole career. For the month of March, we will be doing a month-long bracket. 4 weeks of the same bracket. You always said, how can you do that? We got it laid out. We're geared up, ready to go. I'm excited about that. You know what it is. We will not reveal it. We're going to reveal it on Friday.
Very excited.
It is a very Cleveland thing again. So I've done this before. I've done Cleveland pizza. I've done wings. Oh, the wings one got heated. People got very territorial. Was it Trolley House? I think it might have been because they got a big push late. But like Grayton Road Tavern and, I'm on the west side, but it's like it gets territorial, east versus west. So I've done best wings. We've done best pizza. And last year we did your favorite television show of all time. Seinfeld won. So each week was a different decade, right? This one, we're going back to our Cleveland roots. And we will debut it on Friday. We will announce it on Friday, our month-long bracket. And everybody's going to have an opinion on it. Almost everybody's going to have an opinion on it. So it's that on Friday coming up. Don't forget tonight, big play. Enter the Jungle. James Rapine, Ted Karras on tonight with them, which is going to be great. And, of course, another rousing edition of The Return with Josh Maria Cripps. Check it out on Big Play. We'll be back for another Wednesday edition tomorrow, 9 a.m. Great stuff. Ryan Tyler, I'm Matt Fontana. As always, take it easy.